Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Tonight, I'm going to be chatting to the lovely Sharon Crabbe, who's a fellow horsewoman, mental wellness coach, and digital entrepreneur in the same online business that I'm in. So if you're joining us live, drop some love in the chat. And if you're not and you're catching the replay, drop a hashtag replay in below.
Yeah,
so
we're definitely
Sharon,
live.
Welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening. It's an absolute pleasure. Fantastic. That's what I like. So anyway, so Sharon, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what was happening in your life before you found this business?
Okay, well, what was happening in my life was, like you said before, I was a horsemanship coach. I had actually already made a bit of a kind of started another business as a, as you said, a mental wealth and life coach. So that was already going on. I was still fairly, well, no, I suppose I'd been doing that for about 4 or 5 years. And yeah, life was pretty good, actually. I got to a really good place. COVID caused me to rethink a few things. I'm sure you found the same with the horsemanship
yeah,
coaching.
I think COVID has had a lot to answer for. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
I think COVID made a lot of people rethink their lives and their situations.
Yeah, I'd also, one of the reasons I kind of diversified from just horsemanship coaching was I'd been ill as well for, well, it was nearly 2 years. And that really impacted my horsemanship coaching from a physical point of view, you know. And I guess what also happened was there's a moment where you suddenly realize, especially if you've been ill, where you suddenly realize that you've lived more years, like there's more years behind you than you've got in front of you. So there was a lot going on from that point of view in my thinking, I think, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously COVID and your health, was there an absolute moment that you felt something needed to change in your life?
Well, I'd known about this online business actually for a long time because I have several friends through the horsemanship coaches who'd been involved in the business. And one of them, Carmen, I'd been kind of not stalking exactly, but I had literally known about this business for about 4 years. But I hadn't really looked at it. And I had a conversation with another mutual colleague of ours, Jodie, and it was just it was a catch-up call, a friendship call after my dad died, and we hadn't spoken for years. We kept in touch on Facebook, but not actually had a conversation. And I was talking about, you know, how things change and the kind of where my head was at. And she asked me, or she talked about, you know, looking ahead 5 years, would I kind of be okay if things were the same? We had that sort of conversation. She didn't really ask me a direct question, but that's what we were talking about. And I remember putting the phone down and thinking, God, no. You know, I need to do something else. And I wasn't sure what, to be honest, but I had been really struck by the change in Jodie in terms of, she won't mind me saying this, but she'd really blossomed and kind of, she was always, you know, much quieter. I remembered her. So that kind of piqued my curiosity, I suppose. And particularly because I was also involved in coaching and that sort of thing. So basically, I asked her, I said, what have you been doing? What's been going on with you? and she told me about the business. And that was the first time I actually looked at it properly. And there was something in there that I'd never really thought about before. And that was leveraged income. And I realized that although I diversified into life coaching, I was still exchanging my time for money. And I think that was, it wasn't, I can't remember an actual moment like a line in the sand, but that was it was a moment of, oh my goodness, you know, because that's, and that coupled with the fact that I have no retirement provision, and I just gaily carried on thinking I was going to work until I couldn't, you know, carry on working. It all kind of came to a head, I think.
Yeah. I think it comes as a bit of a revelation and perhaps a bit of a shock, doesn't it? Because it was a little bit like that for me too. You know, I just thought, oh, well, I'm just going to keep going and going. And then, you suddenly hear about something else and you think, oh, actually, you know, let's explore the options. So I can see where you're coming from there. Yeah. So, you know, what for you has been the biggest change since you started in this business?
The biggest change. Well, I've learned a lot more. I mean, I've been on I think I'm a bit of a never-ending student anyway. but I've learned a lot more around, you know, leveraging, not just, you know, this idea of not sort of leveraging income, having leveraged income, but also how to use digital products, how to use social media, things like this, you know, doing live videos. I mean, I didn't really want to put myself out there like that. You know, it was okay behind a photograph that I airbrushed, but to actually put myself in, you know, to actually come on and do something like this live and be me was a big step. So I think I've grown in terms of belief in myself, actually. That's been probably my biggest, the biggest change, I think. Actually, nothing to do with, you know, money or anything like that. It's a bit weird, really, thinking about it.
This is something I hear a lot inside our business. It's not just about making an extra income stream. It is, you know, as much about self-development and growth as much as anything. You know, which is, who wouldn't want that, you know? So that's great. So, you know, what are you most excited about for your future now?
Excited for well, I'm always excited, Kay. I'm an excitable person. But I think, I mean, it's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this. The products have been really, again, quite life-changing, because to be honest, came into the business not because of the products. I was interested in the compensation plan and the ability to, you know, earn income and leveraged income and all that side of things. So, but I've been using the products, drinking the water, and the turmeric, and all of it basically since June 2024. And I'm really on board with the products, you know, so that's been really good. And I'm just excited about the way the whole business is, because like my coaching, my mental wealth, I call it, because I help people understand how they work psychologically, understand how we tick as human beings. And my whole when that happens, they end up having a better life, having an easier life, and not getting stressed, you know, or anxious or depressed or all those sorts of things. So this business really fits into it really well, because it's the same. It's about having, you know, having a business that fits your life rather than you having to fit yourself around a job or a business, you know. And so that's,
yeah.
you don't have to ask, you know, you don't have to ask permission to have time off or when you want to work or the hours you want to. It's just, you can, you know, if you've got a phone. I mean, I've just come back from a couple of weeks in Vancouver, and I had a holiday, but I was still able in touch with what was going on with my business, you know. And I think that's pretty exciting.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah, to be able to just go anywhere and be able to take your business with you, you know, in your pocket, essentially. You know, and we've got all this fully automated systems that we can use, and again, you know, to leverage our time. So, you know, we've got fantastic tools available to us. Okay, and finally, what would you say to anyone who is sitting on the fence, wondering if this might be for them?
Well, I feel a bit of a hypocrite because I sat on the fence for a long, long time. And I do wish I hadn't. I do wish I had jumped in 4 years ago, 5 years, whatever. I really do, because I imagine where I'd be, you know. I mean, I'm excited about how far I've come already. So, and the only reason I didn't was because I didn't check it out properly. And I listened to people who didn't know what they were talking about, you know. And I was worried about what people might think, which is the number one, isn't it?
It is, yet, It's full of others' opinions,
yeah. But once
at the end of the day, they don't pay our bills.
No, and the thing is, when you look at the business properly, you know, there's nothing hidden. It's completely transparent, and I was just like, oh my God, why hadn't I looked sooner? So my advice to anyone sitting on the fence is get off and go look, you know, and ask people who've been there.
Get off the fence. It's uncomfortable. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, fences are uncomfortable. Get off it. So anyway, Sharon, that's been a real insight for everybody, and thank you so much for chatting with me this evening. And, you know, if anyone who is watching is sitting on that fence and it's getting a little bit uncomfortable, you're getting a few splinters, then maybe hop over onto our side and have a bit more of a look and see, you know, what it is we do, what it's all about. You know, as Sharon said, everything's absolutely transparent. If you've got any questions at all, just reach out and ask, and we can answer them for you. And of course, we're obviously enjoying the lovely products as well. So I think that's everything for this evening. Again, Sharon, thank you for your time this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Well,
and
thank you for
we will
asking
bid you
me.
all good night. You're very, very welcome.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay.